Hey guys, welcome back to my channel Rewind. That is your girl Miss K. If this is your first time coming across my channel, welcome. Please be sure to subscribe if you like the vibe and hit that notification bell so you know when I upload more videos like this one. Today guys, we're going to be going over the latest episode of P-Valley, season 2, episode number 8, called The Death Drop. So the episode starts off with Mercedes back at the Pynk, and she's on the pole, okay? But it's not looking good, guys. She's looking like her arm is still hurting and the struggle is real getting up the pole, okay? So Uncle Clifford comes in and he tells her that it's not in her arm, it's in her head. Mercedes is concerned that she is not meant to fly anymore, but Clifford says they come to see you fall, not fly. But anyway, Mercedes tells Clifford that if her problem is all in her head, then his issue at the Pynk is in his hands. And if she has to try, then Uncle Clifford has to try too. Next, Uncle Clifford, he done dyed Lil Murda's hair back to black and is working them clippers, okay? Putting murder in the back of his head and all that crap, right? And I'm just thinking, sheesh, this man got talent, right? Anyway, Uncle Clifford asks Murda where he's going, trying to look all cute and stuff. And Murda says nowhere, which I can't understand, okay, guys? Like, why can't you just tell Uncle Clifford that your friend killed himself and you're going to his funeral? You know, he can explain to Uncle Clifford that him and Teak were lovers later on. Anyway, Uncle Clifford was like, you sure got a lot of secrets and I ain't trying to be one of them. So Murda says, I thought we were past all that. And Uncle Cliff says, just cause you gave a chick some olive branch booty don't mean a chick passed nothing. And Murda said that wasn't no olive branch Negro. That was more like 100-year-old oak. So they start going back and forth about not knowing where each other has been. And Murda says, just know that if I was anywhere, I was protected. Were you? But Cliff ain't had nothing to say about that because I don't think he was protected when he let that dude go down on him on his birthday. Anywho, in this scene, we also see that Cliff has been calling the hospital every 45 minutes to check on grandmother. But there's been no change, and the nurse on the phone tells Cliff that no news is good news, okay? And I just got my fingers crossed at this point, guys. I hope she pulls through. We need grandmother Ernestine. Come on now. Next, Mercedes is out doing her run with Blackie Miles, and looky, sexual chocolate Maine done got out of the pen. And he's definitely happy to see Sadie's, and it would have been nice if they could have hugged or something, you know what I'm saying? Because they over there talking about how much they missed each other. Anyway, Maine is out because of the Rona, and he tells Sadie's that he wants her to come through to the block party his shooters are throwing for him. So Sadie says that she's going to see if she can move some things around. Next, Haley meets up with Keyshawn at the diner, and the only reason Derek let her out is because he's feeling guilty. So he's trying to make Keyshawn happy for now. Anyway, Keyshawn gives Haley the birth certificates of her and her babies, and Haley tells her that she'll have passports for them soon. Haley also asks Keyshawn where she will go, and when Keyshawn starts to tell her where she was thinking of going, Haley stops her and tells her that she was about to break the cardinal rule. Never let anyone know where you're going, not even the ones that are trying to help you. So Keyshawn gets ready to leave, but before she leaves, she lets Haley know that she looked up Haley Colton and she died in a flood in Texas. And Haley says, yet she's right here in Chucalissa having a cup of coffee for now. And my thing is, how the heck did they declare her dead without a body, you know? But maybe that's like a set time that they have when it comes to that sort of thing, that if they didn't find the body and nobody claimed anything or said anything, they have to declare folks dead. Anyway, Keyshawn leaves and Haley stays at the diner to finish her coffee. Suddenly, we see Andre being dragged on TV, not literally dragged, but his character, his name, you know. You know how it goes with politics, guys, when it's time to find dirt on your opponents. And that's exactly what Wayne Kyle did, okay? He found dirt on Andre and Patrice. So with Andre, we find out that his father is in prison for murder. And with Patrice, we get what we've always known. She's a hoe, right? Or she was a hoe, okay? The only difference is Patrice owns her stuff. But anyway, Corbin is obviously pissed off because he's the one sponsoring this race for Andre. So, of course, Corbin wants to try to do whatever he can do to fix this situation. Next, Keyshawn is at home washing dishes, and Derek comes home with some shoes that can't fit her. So he starts smacking himself in the head like a psycho, saying that he can't do anything right. Then he says to Keyshawn, just tell me what to do. What do you want? And I'll get it for you. I'll get you a new car. She tells him that what she wants can't be bought. So then he starts saying that he could set up her room so she can start dancing again for her OnlyFans. But she didn't want that. Long story short, guys, Derek plays right into Haley's plan when he asks Keyshawn if she wants to dance at the Pynk. Keyshawn tells him yes, because this will help put Haley's plan in motion. Haley's plan is that Keyshawn will headline at the reopening, right? She'll get all the money from the door as long as she tells Derek that he's going to get the money from the floor, right? So this was the perfect time for Keyshawn to let Derek know that she wanted to work at the Pynk again. Of course, Derek is like, oh, but so many things happen at that place. Too many bad things happen at that place. And she's like, but that's the only place where I feel free. Okay. So like I said, Derek is feeling very guilty because ever since the last time we saw him put hands on Keyshawn, things have not been the same. And obviously, I don't think it was the beating that he put on her. I think it was more because he started to hit the kids now. So she's really like very withdrawn from him right now. And he sees that. Stuff is not going back to normal like it usually did. Like he used to beat her up and then it seems like things went back to normal and then the cycle repeats. But this time she's withdrawn and she's just not here for it. Next, Haley meets up with Georgie, the widow, and Georgie wants to know if Haley has come to accept her offer of $5 million for the Pynk. Haley tells her that it's not going to be accepted unless it's $10 million. So Georgie asks the hairdresser to give them a Mississippi minute, and she tells Haley that she likes a woman who knows her worth, which makes her dangerous. But what's even more dangerous is a beautiful woman who doesn't know her worth is declining her beauty too. So basically, Georgie is letting Haley know that she better take the money because at the end of the day, it's really up to the people. And the people might not vote for the casino referendum. Because Haley is over here thinking like it's all about her. She holds all the cards and nothing could be pulled off without her, right? So the bottom line is Georgie says, take it or leave it. Are you folding or are you holding? And Haley tells Georgie that she'll see her at the polls. And Georgie did not look worried at all, guys, okay? So I definitely think that Haley done met her match, and I'm here for that, okay? Next, Lil Murda goes to the funeral home to give Woody the suit that they will bury Teaks in. Woody basically lets Murda know that he handled the situation with Rome because Rome had a quote-unquote movie of murder, right? But Woody doesn't say with who the movie is with, and Murda starts talking about what he had to do at 15 to keep food on the table. So who knows what the heck Lil Murda was talking about, right? Sounds like prostitution, but I'm sure we'll find out, right? But it obviously sounds like there might be more than one tape floating around, okay? Anyway, Murda, he looks at Woody and he wants to know, why me? Like, why are you looking out for me so much? And Woody says, one of us got to make it up out the mud. Why can't it be you? Next, down at the Pynk, they're trying to get ready for the grand reopening, okay? And Uncle Clifford is excited to have his bottom chick back. And he knows that everybody's going to be happy to see her new dance, okay? But Haley, who has other plans, tells Sadie that she wants to see her dance routine. And y'all already know it was a horror show, honey, okay? I mean, just pitiful. After all that gracefulness that she showed on the coach's pole, she comes to the Pynk looking like a klutz. Anyway, Haley has Keyshawn come in and it pisses Uncle Clifford off and catches Diamond off guard. We also see that Whispered and Roulette are fans of Keyshawn, which was cool to see. But I like the exchange between Keyshawn and Sadie's because even though Mercedes says she was done with her, you can see that they had an understanding, right? Especially when Keyshawn was like, I never thought I'd come back here. And Sadie said, it must mean you ain't have no other choice. And then she said, ain't no place like home. All right. And it's a little sad at the same time, guys, because it almost seems like they can't win, right? Because we do see that they were both trying to move on to bigger and better things. but their circumstances wouldn't let them move forward, okay? And they just had to go back to the valley because of that. Now, before I move on, I also want to say that I like that they didn't give away Keyshawn's locker or vanity. Even though they said that they were done with her, keeping her locker and vanity area free tells me that they didn't completely close the door on her. Next, Uncle Clifford goes outside after arguing with Haley, and he's in his car crying. We could hear that he tried calling the hospital for his grandmother again, but they placed him on hold right away. So as he's having his little meltdown, his mother appears in the back seat and she says, "Who I gotta beat up now, baby?" She then tells Clifford not to fight the water and just let them tears out. You know, it's going to be freeing for you. But after you finish crying, you got to get even. And I am so glad that she came to Clifford to basically give him that message to stay in the fight. You know what I mean? Because, of course, Uncle Clifford is distracted, as he should be, over Grandmother Ernestine. But I need Clifford to use that brain and go to work. You know what I mean? If you don't want to sell your club, then you need to fight for it. Next, Murda attends Teaks' funeral and everyone is taking off their chains and placing them across Teaks' chest. And Teak looks so handsome, by the way, guys. I also like the song that they played by Scarface. But anyway, after they put Teak in the back of the hearse, the OG calls Murda over to ask him if he's seen this video of Pico claiming that he was the one who killed Teak. And Murda did not see that, okay? So it definitely angers him to see Pico claiming this situation. So the OG tells Murda that he got to take care of this because the disrespect cannot stand, okay? You don't spit on another man's grave. And I said during my live that I don't agree that Murda should have handled this situation since he's, the rising star of the bunch. And if it's about street code, then one of them should have taken care of it. But we already know that Murda agreed to take care of it anyway, right? Next, Shell finds out that Sadie's took Terica to get an abortion. Shell is pissed because she feels like Sadie shouldn't have done that. Like, we don't do that. We take care of our responsibilities around here. You know what I'm saying? And while her mothers are arguing back and forth, Terica steps in and says that she's going to drive Shell home because, of course, she was drinking. So to me, guys, it looked like Terica was uncomfortable watching Mercedes go in on Shell, and she jumped into protective mode and she went home with her mother. And that's not to say that she didn't appreciate Sadie's help, but it looks like she made her choice for now. Next, Uncle Cliff visits Corbin on the plantation and he lets him know that the enemy of my enemy is the person he can link up with. He also lets Corbin know that Pastor Woodbine is the easiest of his problems because the only thing she loves more than her pulpit is the gospel of Benjamin. Clifford also made a statement about how Corbin been coming after his stuff since they were little. That no matter how many sorry you a secret toys your daddy gave you, you still had to take my hand-me-down Barbie dolls and rip their heads off. So I don't know what Corbin has against Uncle Clifford, guys, but Uncle Clifford feels like Corbin trying to get his club shut down is not about business, right? Because Corbin tried to say that he was just playing doctor back in the day when he was ripping them Barbies' heads off. But Uncle Clifford was like, okay, so what's your excuse now? You out here stirring up all of this trouble back in that great value Obama. And that was hilarious, okay? Great value Obama. Oh my gosh. Anyway, you out here stirring up all this trouble back in that great value Obama because you think he gonna give you some power when in reality you have all you need, right? But the bottom line, guys, is that Corbin needs to accept that he's never gonna be white, just like Uncle Clifford told him. Yes, half nigga, I do know how it feels to have the whole world turning their noses up at me. But the difference between me and you is that I know what I'll never be. But anyway, before Uncle Clifford leaves, he tells Corbin that before Grandmother Ernestine went into the hospital, she gave her a new rule. Rule number 7,629. If you can't get to the water, sometimes you got to bring the water to you. So let's see how all this is going to play out, guys, and how successful these two will be at taking down Autumn Nightmare. Next, Roulette done got Whispers to agree to have Terrence go down on her for some cash, okay? And even though Whispers never really got a chance to actually consult with her little beads or whatever the heck she be consulting with, she didn't get a chance to consult with it to tell her if she should make that decision or not. She finds herself in this hotel room waiting for Terrence to get there, okay? So Roulette lets Whispers know that she ain't going nowhere. She gonna stay right here. Terrence comes in and he's looking like, oh, it's going to be a 2-for-1. No, the heck it's not, okay? Roulette says, I'm going to be right here. If I ain't staying, you ain't staying. So she's in the bathroom while he's going down on Whispers. Whispers is moaning and all this stuff. Now, before all this went down, Whispers told Roulette that she does not have a good feeling about this, you know? So back to the whole situation where Terrence is going down on her. Once they're done, they start going at it and arguing because he is short. He decided that he doesn't want to pay her because she wasn't moaning right. Okay, I'm putting in all the work and she's not even moaning right. So Whispers got smart and was like, oh, now you know how to use your tongue and all of this stuff. You should be happy that I faked the orgasm, blah, blah, blah. Right? So he started to choke her out. And I'm like, where the heck is Roulette? Because she ain't doing nothing about this. All of a sudden, here she come with a gun right to his head. Long story short, guys, she done had this man stripped down. She put the gun in his mouth. First, she's like, let's play my favorite game, okay? She puts the gun to her head. There is one bullet in there. We do find out later there was definitely a bullet in there. I told y'all this girl is very risky with her own life, okay? So she did have a bullet in there. She puts the gun to her head first, pulls the trigger, then she does it to him. Then, you know, we also see her put it in his mouth and she kind of has him sucking on it as if it's a penis, you know what I'm saying? And she said, go ahead and moan. Show us how she was supposed to do it. I mean, it was really a really intense, crazy scene. And then after that, they took the man's car. Now, I do feel like this moment is going to tie into the death prediction that I put out weeks ago about Roulette. All right, guys, but we will see. We're going to see what happens. I don't know, but I really feel strongly about this death prediction. And I feel like this scene right here, it's just building up to it, all right? Next, we get to the scene where we see Pico coming out of the corner store. And then it was weird to me to see him kind of like walking through like this, I don't know, abandoned yard or whatever. It was just a very perfect setup for him to get murked. You know what I'm saying? And you got Lil Murda just hiding in the shadows. You know what I'm saying? He comes out and he confronts him about the whole thing. You claiming that you took Teak out. Knowing daggone well, obviously we know that Murda knows that Teak took himself out, okay? Which is why I don't agree with this whole thing. You know this man did not kill him. You know that Teak killed himself, but you still did this anyway. I could not stand Pico, but I just don't agree with how this whole thing went down. I felt like we could have, if y'all wanted to have Pico get killed, y'all could have killed him off in a different way. I don't think it should have went down like this, but whatever. That's neither here nor there. It is what it is. Another reason I'm not happy about this situation is because Lil Murda, I feel like he signed his own death warrant by killing another man. And who knows what's going to happen now? You know what I'm saying? We just going to have to see. But listen, the writers, they had me, of course. I don't know about everybody else. Everybody else is happy to see Pico go. But for me, when they had him talking on the phone with his son, and I'm going to be home soon, and then he's pleading with Lil Murda, saying, you know, I got another baby on the way. You know, my mother needs me. My son just turned 6. It was just really sad. So it was kind of like, tag, they really got us over here feeling sorry for a brother. And, you know, Lil Murda did not care. Like, I let him know his daddy love him, you know. So, and then he blew him away. I mean, I thought he had a shotgun at first because, you know, it's really dark. But he had some type of machine gun. And I was just like, oh, my gosh. It was just very brutal. And I wasn't with it, you know. But Whatever, guys. Let's move on. Next, Mercedes gets to the block party for Maine, and somebody come up and they like, yo, somebody just popped Pico, right? So Maine goes running, tries to run off with the rest of the crew, and Sadie's is like, wait a minute, now you just got out of jail this morning. Let somebody that doesn't have an ankle bracelet deal with that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, hello, it's almost very similar to what I was saying about Lil Murda. Like, let somebody who's not a rising star deal with that situation. Like, if y'all feel like y'all gotta kill Pico, let somebody else from the crew do it, you know? So, same thing with Maine. If something gotta be done, let somebody else that don't have the ankle bracelet do it. Hello. So anyway, he stays and he goes inside Mercedes' house and they talk, look like they in kind of like the back porch or something like that. And he's like, what's on your mind? And she tells him basically that it was 3 of us in the room. One of us didn't come out. That's not me. It's haunting me. He was like, I wish I was there, to be there for you. So he starts to make some type of sexual advance and she's just like, that's not what I'm looking for. And so he stops and he's like, well, I hope you get what you're looking for. And I'm like, what? And then because he gets up and he leaves. And I was like, are you freaking kidding me? So you just gonna get up and leave because she didn't give you no coochie cooch? Like, really? That's not cool. So Maine lost a lot of points for me when he did this. Because I really thought that him and Sadie's had a little something way more. But I guess not, honey. Next, Uncle Clifford goes to visit his mother's grave in the dark, guys, okay? And he's like, listen, I know I haven't been coming here to visit you and everything, but he lets her know that he misses her. He thought he saw her today and everything. But the bottom line is that he misses her. And I will come here and I will visit you more often if you don't take Grandmother Ernestine. Like, don't let me have to miss her too. All right, so that was a pretty sad scene. But the saddest thing is when he told his mother that maybe he's been avoiding her because he didn't want to have to come there and admit that he's failing. So here's another reason why I really just want Uncle Clifford to win. Like, whatever way he wants this thing to go, I'm with him. Basically, that's where I stand. So I know he's bad with money and everything, but I just hope that he gets to keep his club and then he can be better with money. Like this could be a good lesson for him. But anyway, this scene right here just shows me how lonely Uncle Clifford is. He doesn't get a chance to tell people what's on his mind. He did express this in last week's episode that it's lonely at the top. It's lonely being who he is. And so I really hope that Grandmother Ernestine pulls through because he needs that person that he's able to just bear it all with. And Grandmother Ernestine is that person. Okay, next. Pastor Woodbine got some little online church service thing going on. And we see, the money and people are paying tithe or doing offering, things like that. So then she sees that they receive a $10,000 donation. And she winds up going down to meet somebody to go get that money. We find out that this person is Corbin. So Corbin tells her, look, I'm going to need you to drop out the race. But Patrice tells him, look, I may have started this whole thing out of spite, but the Lord done showed me all the good that can come out of her being in the mayor's office, right? The streets know her knees, but the people know her soul and all of this crap, So Corbin was like, but is that the pulpit you want? Then he gives her scripture and everything, Then he gives her the money in her hand and he tells her to pray on it. Take that and pray on it. And I got more where that came from. And that's something that she want to hear. Next, we get to the last scene where Lil Murda is in the booth. And I'm just over here thinking, like, please do not talk about what you just did. Like, I feel like he's going to start snitching in his lyrics, and that is going to be trouble, okay? But we didn't get to hear nothing that came out of his mouth. So maybe in the next episode, we're going to hear this new song, where he's just spilling all the tea and the beans, honey. But we shall see. But that is how the episode ended, guys. Let me know what you guys thought about this episode. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell so you know when I upload more videos like this one. Until next time, you guys take care and be blessed, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.